Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day. Jennifer is grateful for the opportunity to educate, empower, and inspire you with powerful conversations, insights, and new viewpoints. Here's your host, Jennifer J. Hammond.
As you know, I love when we can bring you great guests who will inspire you, but will also bring you amazing stories that you probably never heard before, and some amazing pearls of wisdom to help you with your wealth. Yes, this is Philip Walter Smith, and he died 3 times and came back to life. But even with that, he has an extraordinary career where he has done amazing things in the financial world. So we're going to talk about that. But first of all, Philip Walter Smith, welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Yay! It's a pleasure to have you. I'm so happy. So let's start a little bit with the financial. You have an extensive real estate background, because not only have you invested here in the United States, but you've also invested overseas. So I know this is one thing many people have thought about, but are not brave enough to do that. So why did you go overseas and invest?
I retired from banking in 1994. And I thought I had the rest of my life made because I bought 2 H&R Block franchises and was doing extraordinarily well. The problem is that H&R Block loved me so much, and because I grew them so much, they came and bought them back. So here I am in a situation where, what do I do next? And I was offered a position at the central bank in Kyrgyzstan, in Central Asia, to help all the commercial banks in the country convert to international financial standards for reporting. So I packed up and went to the other side of the world, literally. And since then, that's basically all I've done, is work with central banks and World Bank and IMF and folks like that. And it's been great fun.
Well, and I was going to say, it's a very different perspective. I've actually worked with the IMF and many people who are at the World Bank and the IMF for real estate, because when they come to the Washington, D.C. area, so often they actually purchase real estate, and they have such a very different viewpoint on it than I think Americans do about buying real estate and why that's important. So that's part of the reason I was curious. When you went overseas, what did things change as far as what I guess the way I would put it is the way that you value investing in real estate, whether it's just your own home or other properties?
On both, because because of my background in California, I understood the swings of real estate. When I was in the real estate business, I went through 3 good recessions. I knew what it was to go up and come back down. When I got to Kyrgyzstan, the prices were very, very low. And I looked at investing, but because I was working for the US government, I was not supposed to own the property. Because they paid the rent. Okay, fine. So then I went to Kazakhstan and then Russia. When I got to Russia, I bought my own place at a ridiculously low rate in 2001. And because it was at the bottom of the market, there was just no question. I knew the market would come back. I knew it was strong, and I did extremely well. I made 400% on my money. So I love that. And I have now married a doctor surgeon who lives in Kyrgyzstan. And we've bought a couple pieces of property now, one to live in, and some more to rent, because the market is just so good. The return on investment yield that people look for is actually quite different outside the United States. If I can get 7 or 8% on my cash investment, that's a lot better than getting 2% at the bank on a CD.
Right.
Or even in other countries, I might be able to get 4% on a dollar account, but I can't get 7. So that was the basis from which we now invest. We simply look at the yield, and real estate is quite stable where we are now. I'm now living in Ghana. It's the same situation here, except that interest rates are 20 to 22%.
Wow.
So there aren't very many
right
mortgages.
now? They're 20 to 22% right now?
Yes, it's crazy.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. It reminds me of 1980 when the money markets start coming alive. But anyway, so it's been interesting, and I enjoy it, and I'll buy some more. There's not a problem.
Absolutely. So let's shift gears into, this is a pretty interesting and unheard of kind of topic, to have died 3 times and come back to life. So will you share your story about dying?
Sure. I was in Kyrgyzstan working when I first went over in 1998. There was a celebration of the currency in that country, the 5-year anniversary of the introduction of the new currency. Because it was a former Soviet country, they no longer used the ruble. So I go to the party and I have a good time, and I ate something that I didn't think set right. And it was like a Friday afternoon. And it was okay. I got sick, got rid of everything. That night I was okay. Next day I was okay. Sunday, I was packing to go do a training seminar in another city, and I couldn't move. And had to call an ambulance. Doctor came. Oh, your appendix burst. You need an operation right now. And she said, when did it happen? I said, I have no idea, because I didn't have any pain until Sunday morning. Well, apparently it broke Friday. The problem with that is that the fluid from that gets inside, finds its way around in little crevices in your body, and could kill you if without the operation. Too late to be evacuated, so in Kyrgyzstan, I had an operation. Within an hour, I was on the operating table. The next thing I remember was, that was a Sunday afternoon, and on Monday night, I woke up. Tuesday morning, they told me they lost me 2 times on the operating table. It took them 10 hours to clean out the inside, to take all the fluids out. And they said that it'll be a few more months until it's done.
Wow.
And then on Thursday, I was sitting reading a Tom Clancy novel in my bed. And all of a sudden I felt really strange. And I thought the top of my head had blown off. And I tried to reach up, but I couldn't because of the bandages. And I took the book and threw it with my left hand to the door to wake up the guy in the room with me. I said, you need to get the nurses. Now, they all speak Russian. I didn't speak Russian at that point. I knew what nurse was in Russian, so I said, please. So he went and got the nurses. It took him about an hour. They got me under control. But between the time he left and came back, I saw a tunnel of fog with stepping stones leading up to a level with a lady standing there, an angel, I presume would be an angel, with her arms wide open. She said to me, Phil, everything is ready. We are totally ready for you. You can come up anytime you want to.
Wow.
I said, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. And about an hour later, I was okay, and I slept reasonably well that night. The next morning, I woke up and I thought, wow, this is going to change my life. And it did. I did everything I possibly could. I looked at my own life And one of the things that I needed to do was to get rid of the stress, which I did, and which I still have, and I still do it occasionally. I do the same exercise. But I concentrated on trying to help other people. And I did more of that over the years. Since then, I've helped create about 10,000 jobs in the various places where I worked with new businesses that I helped start. I was part owner in some of the cases, or was the manager or the CEO or whatever. And it's been fun. I've been having a great time. And I enjoy life. I took everything. I took control of my own life. I lost 100 pounds. And I feel great. I'm now,
I know one of the things that you talk about is helping others will make your life rewarding and even financially rewarding. Will you talk about that?
I do. There's no question. I learned a long time ago when I had my real estate business in Maine that when I helped somebody and they made money, they would refer other people to me. You know how that works.
Of course.
And, of course. And they would come back for the next set of whatever they were going to do. And there were 3 or 4 of my clients who made very, very good money. And they kept referring other people and other people. And that just kept growing and growing and growing. And I was doing very well. Thank you. And I realized I could make them more money than I could make myself. So I concentrated on helping others because in the long run, it helps me.
I agree.
Yeah. And
I love helping other people.
One of the things we do today in the businesses that I have today, I'm the CEO of 4 different companies in Kyrgyzstan, the United States, and in Ghana. 20% of the gross income of the companies that I am involved in. Now the gross, not the net income, but when I get a dollar, 20 cents goes to charity, right off the top. And the fun part and the most joyful thing that I have every day is being able to say, I help that person get to the next step, to help their standard of living increase a little bit. And it's just great. It's a great feeling and it helps me sleep at night.
Absolutely. So one other thing is you wrote a book. Will you talk a little bit about your book?
Yes. I got stuck in a quarantine in Kyrgyzstan last year. I went home for the holidays, and then I had to go to Moscow to sell my flat. And then I went to the United States to assemble all of this stuff I had at different places to move it to one location. And then when I got back, we were looking at flats and we decided on one. And then I got married 2 years ago, and this was going to be our honeymoon. And my wife said, okay, I've made arrangements. We're going to go for our honeymoon. Good. When? So she told me. So we got to celebrate the honeymoon, International Women's Day, and her birthday the same week. And we went to the Maldives, and it was just absolutely incredible. We got back. The day after we got back, we closed on the flat that we had decided on.
Nice.
Or apartment, condo, I guess is what you would call them in the States. And the next day we moved, and that day they closed the airport.
Oh.
I was totally quarantined. And since my wife is a doctor, she's out there helping patients every day, working through the COVID issues every day. And she just simply said, you are not going outside. There is no reason for you to go outside. You find something for you to do. I had already started writing some books. And then I got this idea that if I could take all the ideas of everything that has changed since I saw the white lights, and some of the good that I've done, and some of the positive things that I've done, to be able to show other people what I've done and share that might make a book. So I started working on it. In 30 days, I had it finished.
Yeah.
The first draft, And then I met some other folks like Jack Canfield, who said to me, look, the book he read it, he said, it's good, but you need to put more of you in it. So I went back and added another 30 or 40 pages. And that book has been uploaded to Amazon. We're waiting for the proof. And if I get the proof next week or so, we will have, within a couple of weeks, we should be able to say on our websites and on all the social media, we'll be able to say, it's ready, folks. Now you can order it. Click here.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and share with people what your website is so they can keep an eye out.
Well, the website is very simple, philipwaltersmith.com.
Perfect.
Nice and simple. Same thing. All of my social media is all the same. Philip Walter Smith on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, everything.
Well, thank you, Phil. I appreciate you sharing your story. I think it's so important that people hear it. And from, all sorts of corners of the world, and just from meeting Jack Canfield, I'm sure you're aware, you're going to help so many people. And so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And thank you for being with us today. And as you know, at the end of my show, I always ask you to raise your voice and say yay with me.